What is up, people? I hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, man, guys. Obviously, I wanna review the games of that we're playing this weekend. Obviously, Arsenal played Tottenham in a feisty North London derby, and Chelsea played Crystal Palace in a London derby, and Liverpool played Brighton. Great game of football. Trossard hat trick. Thingy. Who else played? Who else? Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's all. Because the other two teams that played is Man United and City. Yeah, so Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool. Yeah. Those are the teams. And I already obviously did a video for the Man United game, Man United City game. You can check that out on my channel as well. But yeah, man, guys, welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a lovely evening. Obviously, if you haven't done so, guys, please subscribe to the channel, and also please push the thumbs up button to like the video. It helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate you guys if you did that, and also please push the notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. Yeah, my guys. So obviously, I'll start on Saturday with the North London derby. Great game of football. I watched the game between Arsenal and Tottenham at the Emirates. I thought Arsenal were really good. Excuse me. Arsenal really kind of they gave an exhibition in that game of how you should play against a team that tries to counter-attack you. Like, if you're playing against a team that are going to sit back and try to counter-attack you, then you should just pin them. If you pin them and you pin them in their own box, then it's difficult for them to kind of work the ball high up the pitch and try to score against you. Even though I was disappointed in Tottenham, because I actually predicted a Tottenham win, but I was really disappointed in Tottenham with how they executed the game, because I just thought they were not good enough in terms of being precise on the ball. Because when you play a counter-attacking style, right, you need to be precise on the ball. Like, whenever you get an opportunity, you have to make it count. So if you get 3 opportunities in the game, you have to score 3 goals. Because playing on the downside of playing on the counter-attack is that you can't concentrate for a full 90 minutes not having the ball and then not concede. You will eventually concede if you're playing against a good team, if you play counter-attacking football. So that's why you need to make sure that each and every opportunity you get, you put away. And Tottenham simply didn't do that in that game. They were simply not precise enough in terms of being precise in possession and making sure that the chances that they had, or the chances that they had to run at Arsenal, they basically made those count. And they were really sloppy in possession. And they scored obviously through the penalty, and that was the only time they went through on goal, and they were kind of precise with their attack. There were 2 or 3 other times when they attacked, but they were not precise enough, and obviously didn't score. And as a result, Arsenal were able to basically take them out of the game. They basically pinned them back, and obviously Lloris made a horrible error for the Gabriel Jesus goal, and obviously Emerson Royale then got a red card. Now, this is splitting opinions a little bit, because some people are saying it's a red card, some people are saying it's not a red card. I think I would lean with the referee in that that's a red card. The reason why I would lean with that, I don't think Emerson Royale was trying to hurt the Arsenal player. I forgot who it was. I don't think he was intentionally trying to basically hurt him. But if you're gonna make that kind of challenge, and you're gonna make full contact with the studs, with someone's body part, and it's above the ankle, that's always going that's always going the ref is always going to lean towards the red card in that situation, because studs are showing. It's a strong challenge with studs showing, and it's above the ankle. Like, if it was the same challenge and it was on the foot, it would have never been a red card. It would have been a yellow card. But because it's above the ankle, it's regarded as high, and because it's regarded as high and the studs are showing, the ref is always in that situation going to give a red card. So that's how I feel about it. Some guys are saying but you can't referee derbies like that. Derbies are feisty. You have to let some things go. Come on, bro. Like, someone made me laugh. Like, a caller on TalkSport yesterday made me laugh. He basically said, bro, I don't care if it's a donkey derby or if it's a London derby or if it's whatever derby it is. If you make a red card challenge, you will get a red card. It doesn't matter if it's a derby or if it's whatever. If you're going to be ill-disciplined and you're going to make a bad tackle, you will get a red card. And that's just the name of the game. So it was unfortunate for Emerson Royale because I honestly don't think he was trying to hurt the opponent. But because he made that challenge, you're always going to get a red card with that. And obviously, after Spurs got a red card, it was really damage limitation from them. Conte threw the towel because he then made wholesale change. Like, he made 4 changes, taking off Son, Richarlison. He basically took off all his attacking players and he just tried to basically limit, he basically went with damage limitation. He just wanted to keep the scoreline down because Arsenal scored like a third goal through Granit Xhaka, and then it was 3-1. So he was just trying to basically he was trying to make sure that the scoreline is respectable enough. And also he would have probably been thinking about the Champions League midweek because they are going to play in the Champions League. So he probably just thought, you know what? Let's let this one go. We've lost the game. We're 10 men on the pitch, and there's no point really in kind of chasing the game from now on. And obviously, yeah. But I think Arsenal were really good. I thought they pinned Tottenham. They made sure that they forced errors upon Tottenham, and they capitalized with the chances that they got in the game. Every chance that they got, they tried to make the most of it, and they basically ended up winning the game 3-1. I thought Gabriel Jesus looked good. He played really well. I thought Thomas Partey ran the midfield battle. He won the midfield battle. He ran the midfield. I thought Granit Xhaka was great as well. Odegaard wasn't really at his influential best, but he didn't need to be. I just thought it was a good performance from Arsenal. Tottenham, I think they were awful. They kind of gave Arsenal too much space to play. Like, Arsenal were comfortable in that game. There was not a moment in that game when you could have said, like, maybe there was a moment or two, but there wasn't a consistent feeling of Arsenal on the ropes a little bit. Like, at no point in that game would an Arsenal fan have felt that they're going to lose the game, because they were just cruising through the game and they pretty much dominated each and every aspect of the game. And they made sure that they didn't allow Spurs to counterattack them. And I thought it was a good performance from them. I was really impressed with the Arsenal performance. I thought it was a good team selection from Arteta. And it was just a bad day at the office for Antonio Conte. I really backed Tottenham to win because I think Tottenham are one of the most lethal teams in Europe on the counter-attack, because they're counter-attacking with Kane, Son, Kulusevski, Richarlison. Those are pacey players, and you have that Kane, like you have Harry Kane, who's an intelligent player because he's basically a number 9 stroke, number 10. He can drop deep, he can make long passes. I think the only people who are better at passing the ball in the Premier League than Harry Kane is Trent Alexander-Arnold and it's Kevin De Bruyne. There's not any other person whom I would say is a better passer of the football than Harry Kane, because like his footballing IQ, Harry Kane's footballing IQ is really up there with the best. So the Spurs are one of the most lethal teams on the counter-attack. I just thought yesterday they didn't really kind of play at that level when you can say Spurs were really good. They were really efficient on the counter-attack, and I think they deserved to lose the game because they didn't really, they were not precise enough on their counter-attacking style to kind of warrant or to merit a victory in that game. I think Arsenal really deserved to win the game. And obviously, a lot of people, again, continue to ask the question, are Arsenal title contenders and all of that? Obviously, Arsenal are still top of the league. We've played 8 games. They have 21 points from a possible 24. They've only dropped 3 points. The only other team that basically has... Actually, there's no other team that has the same record as them because they are top of the league. But obviously, Manchester City are right behind them with 20 points. The only team that have dropped less points than, or obviously, actually, no, man, I don't know what I'm trying to say actually. But basically, Manchester City are right on the heels of Arsenal. They 1 point behind Arsenal. And I think actually it would have been a great game between us and Arsenal this month, but it obviously has been postponed because the game for Arsenal between them and PSV in the Europa League was postponed, and as a result, it was scheduled to play in that slot when we were supposed to play Arsenal in the Premier League. So I don't know when we're going to play them in the Premier League. Because it would have been a really interesting game. Like, if obviously they continue their run and they first and we second would have played together, it would have been interesting to see the two teams playing together. But obviously, I was saying that a lot of people are still asking the question: are Arsenal title contenders? Can Arsenal push City all the way with regards to the title? I have to say, I've been saying all this time. Now wait for it. I'm not gonna say that Arsenal are gonna win the league. So Arsenal fans, don't get your hopes up. But basically, I've been saying all along that I still back Liverpool to finish second in the league. Now, I'm gonna make an honest admission. If Arsenal beat Liverpool this weekend, then I'm changing my pick for second. I pick Arsenal to finish second in the Premier League. Obviously, this is all based on the assumption that they keep the majority of their players fit. Every prediction we make, we're basing it on the fact that we assume that for the majority of the season, the players are going to get fit. If Gabriel Jesus gets injured in the World Cup, obviously they're not going to finish second. They're probably not even going to finish in the top 4. So I'm all basing this based on the assumption that Arsenal players, that their key players are going to keep fit for a large chunk of the season. I think if they can beat Liverpool next week when they play Liverpool, I'm changing my pick for second because I've been giving Liverpool the benefit of the doubt for a while now. I've been saying they're struggling with some injuries. They're kind of missing Mane. They're trying to find a way of playing without Mane and all of that stuff. But we're 8 games in now, and Liverpool are 11 points behind Arsenal. They're 10 points behind Manchester City. If Arsenal beat them next week, they will be 14 points behind Arsenal after 9 games. So, I have to change my pick. Otherwise, I think I would be a fool if I don't change it. I know Arsenal are still young. I know they can bottle it. But based on how they're playing, if they beat Liverpool and they beat them convincingly next week, then I have to hold my hands up and say, I think Arsenal are going to finish top 4. Now, I've predicted that Arsenal are going to be in the top 4 this season. I said my top 4 is Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham, and Arsenal. But what I've seen from Arsenal have been the most impressive team so far this season, even more than Manchester City. Now, Manchester City obviously take all the headlines because they are the champions. They have Haaland, the new star. Like, Haaland is scoring goals left, right, and center. But I think quality-wise, in terms of the level of performances, I think Arsenal have been the best team in the league so far after 8 games. Now, yes, it's still at the beginning of the season, but we have played 8 games. And they have looked like the best team in the league. Obviously, they're not the best team in the league because to be the best team in the... Ultimately, saying you're the best team in the league means you're going to win the league. And you need a level of consistency with... you need to have a level of consistency that is right up there, winning week in, week out in order to win the league. And I just don't think Arsenal are at that stage as of yet. But I think if they beat Liverpool next week convincingly, then I back Arsenal to finish behind City. I don't think they will challenge Manchester City for the league because I just think City are capable of winning 15 to 20 games in a row. And I don't think Arsenal are capable of doing that because I've never seen them do it. So I would back Manchester City that they can win 20 games in a row. And as a result of that, I just don't think Arsenal are capable of getting 90 to 95 points, which ultimately that's what you need to get if you want to win the league. You have to get 90 to 95 points. And I just don't think Arsenal are capable of doing that. Obviously, Arsenal can prove me wrong because before Liverpool challenged Manchester City, they had finished 20 plus points behind Manchester City the previous season. So in 2017-18, when we won the league with 100 points, Liverpool finished more than 25 points behind us. The next season, they only finished 1 point behind us. So you can improve from one season to the other because of like what you did in the transfer window. And Arsenal did great business in the transfer window in the summer by getting Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko. I think it would be great for them to kind of get maybe another defensive midfielder that is good enough to play in the Premier League, because their second choice defensive midfielder at this moment is Albert Sambi Lokonga. And I think Lokonga is a good young player, but he's not ready to play at the top level. So if Thomas Partey gets injured, then you are forced to play Granit Xhaka as your defensive midfielder, and Granit Xhaka is not capable of putting in week in, week out performances playing as the defensive midfielder. Granit Xhaka is having his best time as an Arsenal player at this moment in time because he's playing further forward and he's attacking. So I think if they should get a good enough defensive midfielder in the January transfer window. And maybe they should get, I don't know, like, maybe, I don't know, another striker. Even though they do have Eddie Nketiah, I'm not convinced with Eddie Nketiah. Obviously, he can still prove me wrong, but I just think they do need that defensive midfielder. That second choice defensive midfielder who's basically going to be an understudy to Thomas Partey, who is gonna put, if not the same performances as Thomas Partey, at least close to that, so that the drop off, if Thomas Partey gets injured, the drop off of him not playing in the team, of him playing in the team versus him not playing in the team, is not that big. I think that's what Arsenal need to do, and I think if they do that and they beat Liverpool next week, I back them to finish second. I have to say it, because I've really been impressed with them. I don't think they can win the league because I think City are better than them. But so far this season, with what I've seen from Liverpool, with what I've seen from Chelsea, with what I've seen from Tottenham are basically third in the league. And they have been awful all season. And they have simply been bailed out by the fact that they have Son, they have Kane, they have Kulusevski, and they have Richarlison in their front line. So at any given time, they can create something out of nothing and they can score, and that digs them out of a hole. Like Tottenham were outplayed by Leicester City last week, I think. Before the international break, they were outplayed by Leicester City, and Leicester City are currently bottom of the league. So the fact that they were outplayed by Leicester City, who are bottom of the league at this moment in time, I just don't think. I still back them to finish top 4 because I think Antonio Conte draws his players. I think they're really good. They have really good attacking line. I just don't think they are capable of. Like, I am willing to back Arsenal to finish above them if they beat Liverpool next week. If they don't beat Liverpool next week, I'm gonna stick with my top 4. But if they beat Liverpool next week convincingly, then I will back Arsenal to finish second in the Premier League, because I just think they are starting to build a level of consistency now that we haven't seen from them before. So I've really been impressed with them, to be honest. I have to be quite honest about that. And then yeah, man. I think I will. Should I continue the video and do the other games, or should I just do a separate thing? I mean, let me just, I'll just continue with the video, man, guys. I'll just like, I'll basically look at the, obviously the other two games that I now have to look at is the Chelsea versus Crystal Palace game and the Liverpool versus Brighton. I'll start with Liverpool versus Brighton because that was more exciting than Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. I thought Brighton was sensational. I actually backed Liverpool to win against Brighton because they now have the majority of their players back from injury. Henderson was back in the team. Thiago was back in the team. Like, I think bar Robertson, Keita, and Oxlade-Chamberlain, they had all of their players fit. Jota was back in the team. But I thought Trossard really looked good. Like, I don't know what's happening with Liverpool at this moment in time. Like, they look like a shadow of their former selves. Like, Liverpool were a team that was feared by the opposition. Probably the only team that didn't fear playing against Liverpool was Manchester City. Like, teams played against Liverpool in fear because they could just blow you away with the level of intensity that they could put up. But it seems lethargic, it seems slow. Like, I don't know, I honestly don't know what is happening with them. Is it as simple as saying they lost Sadio Mane in the summer and that's why they're struggling with the intensity? Salah doesn't look like he's going to score. Like, Firmino, I have to be fair to him, I think he's been good in spells this season. He had those 2 goals and 3 assists against Bournemouth when they beat them 9-0. He had 2 goals again yesterday when they played Brighton. So I think Firmino has been good in certain spells. I think Luis Diaz has been good so far this season. But all the other players, it's just like, they just seem off it. Trent is like, I think he's low on confidence at this moment in time, because there's that moment where the ball is coming like from the air and he tries to chest the ball, but then he gets too much power on the ball when he's chesting it, and Welbeck pounces on that mistake and he gets the ball, and it then leads to a Brighton goal. And then there's another goal when he slips, like he's in the box, and when he's like trying to run towards the ball and get the block, he just slips and Brighton score. So I just think he must be low on confidence at this moment in time. Like, obviously, Gareth Southgate also said like Trippier is better than him in terms of like his all-round play. Maybe that kind of that kind of hurt his ego a little bit. I don't know, but Trippier is better than him at this moment in time in terms of form, because really, like, Alexander-Arnold is really like, it's just not been good, man, so far this season. And it's obviously, he hasn't been racking up the numbers so far this season like how he does, like he usually does. Like, he usually already has like close to 6 or 7 assists at this time in the season. And he just hasn't been racking that up. So maybe he's short on confidence or something. I don't know. But I thought Brighton really looked good. They kind of like, they took the game to Liverpool. They pressed them. And I think if Liverpool play like that against Arsenal next week, they're going to lose. Like, I'm going to be honest, like, Arsenal really look good. They look good so far this season. And if Liverpool play like how they played against Brighton, against Arsenal, they will lose the game. I'm convinced they will lose the game. So I don't know, man. I just think I think like something is like wrong, man, at Liverpool. Like, is it Sadio Mane? Even defensively, man, they just don't look. It doesn't look like they're good enough defensively. They're conceding goals, and they're conceding goals you wouldn't expect them to concede. And it's not like they've been chopping and changing their back line. Like, the only player obviously who's missing from their normal back line is Robertson at this moment in time because he's injured. Virgil is playing, Matip is playing, but they're still conceding goals. So they really look like a shadow of their former selves. I'm really like, it's hard to kind of pinpoint it to one reason with regards to why they're struggling so much. But give credit to Brighton. I really think they were good. I think it wouldn't be fair for me to say they were made to look good by Liverpool, because I really thought Brighton were really good in that game. Trossard, if Trossard continues to perform the way he's performing at this moment in time, I think he's going to get a move either in the summer, or I don't think he's going to move in January, because I don't think Brighton are going to sell him in January. But I think in the next summer, if he continues to put on the performances that he's been putting on so far this season, I think he's going to get a move, because he's been really good in terms of performance-wise. He's been really playing at a high level. And he might have a good World Cup as well, because he plays for the Belgian national team, and he is in the squad. I just think he's been really good, Trossard, so far this season. And he's been Brighton's best player, to be honest. But yeah, man, like, Liverpool, they off it, man. They just look off it. I think it was a bad decision from Klopp not playing Luis Diaz from the start. I think he played Fabio Carvalho in the first half. Now, I didn't really watch the whole game, so I can't really say Fabio Carvalho played bad or anything like that, because I didn't see it. But I think Luis Diaz has been their best player this season. So I don't think you should be benching him. Now, I don't know what happened with regards to international break with Colombia and stuff like that. Like, maybe Luis Diaz played on Thursday or played on Wednesday, and Klopp maybe thought he should rest him. I don't know. But if he was fit and ready to play, I just think it was a bad decision for him to bench Luis Diaz. Because I think when he came on, he obviously got the assist for the Firmino goal, for the second Firmino goal. But I just think it was much better in the team. Like, the team played much better when he was there than when he was not there. So, I just think it was not a good decision from Klopp to not play Luis Diaz. And then, obviously, guys, the other game was the Chelsea versus Crystal Palace game. Now, Crystal Palace were robbed in this game because what happened is that Thiago Silva should have been sent off. Thiago Silva had a handball and he was the last man for Chelsea. So basically, the rules of the game basically stipulate that if a defender is the last man, so if there's no defender behind him, so like only the keeper is behind him, and he basically gets beaten by a player, like an attacking player, and he fouls that attacking player, therefore preventing that player from running through on goal, then that's a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. And because it's a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, it should be a red card. Now, Thiago Silva did not foul the Crystal Palace player. He was the last man, so he was the last defender. He didn't foul the Crystal Palace player, but he basically deliberately played the ball with his hand. Like, he was falling and he literally almost like slapped the ball away so that the Crystal Palace player, Odsonne-Edouard, I think, doesn't run through on goal. That is a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, because if he doesn't handle that ball, then the Crystal Palace player is running through on goal. So I think, and that was in the first half, and Crystal Palace were leading at that time. So it was 1-0 in the first half. If Chelsea get a red card, then it's a totally different game. So I think Crystal Palace were robbed, but obviously Chelsea capitalized on it. It's not Chelsea's fault. Chelsea were also robbed against Tottenham because Harry Kane scored when they played against Tottenham. Harry Kane scored after basically Romero had pulled Marc Cucurella's hair. No. What happened was that there was a corner, right, that was taken by Tottenham. And in that phase, Christian Romero pulled Marc Cucurella's hair, which is a foul, obviously. And actually, it's a red card offense if you're going to pull someone by their hair. Like, you can't just pull someone by their hair. It's almost as if like you're slapping them, basically. He basically pulled him with his hair, and the foul was not given. And the ball bounced off a Chelsea player and went off for a corner. And with that corner, Tottenham scored. So Chelsea were robbed as well in that game as a result of a bad refereeing decision. So it's got nothing to do with them. But I think Crystal Palace would have felt hard done by in that game because of the fact that they were playing well and they were leading in the game. And because of a stupid refereeing decision, Chelsea remained with 11 men. And actually, Thiago Silva then played a role in the first goal Chelsea scored through Aubameyang. Because basically the person who got the assist for the goal Aubameyang scored was Thiago Silva, who was not supposed to be on the pitch because he should have gotten a red card. So I think Crystal Palace were robbed in that game. I thought Chelsea... I did actually predict the right scoreline because Chelsea ended up winning the game 2-1 because I thought it was going to be a difficult game for Chelsea against Crystal Palace because Crystal Palace is a difficult game for anyone because Crystal Palace, they play on the counter attack. And they basically, when they play against the top sides, they try and defend well and then they try to attack. So and when the opposition have the ball, They try also to press from the front so that they can potentially win the ball. But they don't press with everyone. They only press with their attacking players so that if the team they're playing against plays through their press, there are still enough bodies at the back to make sure that they don't concede. So I think it's a great tactic from Patrick Vieira, especially when he's playing against the top sides. And it has worked for him in previous times. But I just thought they felt that they were hard done by in that game, and it was a difficult game for Chelsea, to be honest, as I predicted. But obviously Graham Potter, all he's gonna care about is the fact that he's got his first Chelsea win. Excuse me. He's got his first 3 points as a Chelsea manager, and I think obviously Graham Potter has only coached Chelsea for 2 games, so he is still working on the training ground, and he is trying to get his hands onto the team. And as time goes on, Chelsea are going to start playing better because they're going to understand what Graham Potter wants from them. But I think it was not like a great performance from Chelsea. They were lucky to win that game because actually they should have been they should have had a player sent off, and they should have been down to 10 men, which obviously didn't happen, and they capitalized on that by basically winning the game. I thought it was a great finish from Aubameyang. It was a striker's finish whereby he gets the header from Thiago Silva, he just turns and then he shoots and he scores. I think it was an instinctive finish from a striker, really. And we all know Aubameyang can score goals because he's done it before at the top level. Yes, he's 33 now, yes, he's 32, but he is still a good enough player to play in the Premier League and play at a high level. So I thought it was a good goal from him. Obviously, I'm not really up to speed with regards to the performances of the other players because I didn't really watch the full game. I just watched the highlights. But I also thought the other reason why I thought Chelsea were going to struggle in this game is also the fact that Kante is injured at this moment in time, and they then have to play Jorginho and Kovacic as their 2 midfielders. Now, that's like Manchester City, as like the point I was making in my video when I was talking about the Manchester derby. Playing Jorginho and Kovacic in midfield is the same thing as like playing Gundogan, even though I think Gundogan is a better player than Jorginho. But they're both technical players who can pass the ball forward and can keep the ball, but they're not intelligent enough in terms of having the defensive nous and the defensive awareness of being able to be a top-class holding midfielder. So I think Chelsea will continue to struggle without Kante because they're simply going to concede some goals without Kante in the team, because his energy in the team is something that you can't replace. So I thought it was a good win for Chelsea in the event that they did not play well in that game, and they were lucky that they did not have a man sent off. So I think they capitalized on their luck and they won the game in the end. So yeah, that's how I felt really about the game. I thought they were I thought it was, as I said, I didn't think maybe they were okay. But I think Crystal Palace were really robbed in that game, and they would have felt hard done by not to kind of at least draw the game. I thought it was a good goal from Conor Gallagher against obviously his former side, which he played for last year or last season when he was on loan from Chelsea. And I thought it was a bit of class from him not celebrating against Crystal Palace because they are the ones who gave him an opportunity to showcase his skills as a footballer, because he was not given his opportunity by Chelsea, but he was given his opportunity by Crystal Palace. So I thought it was a class reaction from him, not kind of celebrating that goal. But yeah, guys, I think I'll end the video there. I've spoken about the games that played. Obviously, I've spoken about Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, and Liverpool. Brighton. I thought it was a great weekend of football. Obviously, we are now off to the Champions League. Man City are going to be playing Copenhagen. I'm not sure who Chelsea are going to be playing or who Liverpool are going to be playing. I will do a preview video tomorrow. But yeah, man, guys, I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Please continue to watch the videos. Please continue to support the channel. Please push the thumbs up button to like the videos. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And also, please push that notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. And also, yeah, man, guys, thank you for watching the video. Have a great evening, guys. And I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Please continue to support the channel. And yeah, man, let's get those likes up. Let's get those subscribers up. It really helps. But yeah, man, guys, appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.